10:01. Thank you all for being here today. Want to recognize Councilwoman Kathy Schaaf, who's joining us. We were looking for Councilman Horton, but he just went down the hall, so maybe he'll make his way back in. So I want to thank all of you for being here today. We are here for the second public hearing for our 2026 second annual plan to housing and urban development. I want to thank my staff from our Office of Economic and Community Development, Deb Smith and Veronica Fields. They're the real bosses. I just sit here to come and listen to all the great work that they do. So I want to thank you all for being here today. Again, this is our second hearing. We've gone over this quite a bit, but we do have our final numbers from HUD, and so I think we can be productive today in how we talk about this plan moving forward. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Deb Smith.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you all for coming out to get information on this is actually our second series of public hearing, but it's actually our third public hearing. We'll have another one tonight at 6 p.m. The city is required to conduct 4 public hearings. Last year, the city completed the 5-year consolidated plan for 2025 and fiscal year 2025 and in the year of 2025, there were stakeholder meetings, focus group meetings, and citizen input. From all of these meetings, there were priorities and goals that were identified. And today I'm going to identify those goals and priorities that were identified in the 5-year consolidated plan. Number 1, it was increased access for quality of affordable housing, and the goals are provide homeowner rehabilitation assistance, provide rental rehabilitation assistance, create new affordable rental housing, increase homeownership. Number 2 was provide homeless housing and services. And the goals for that were provide homeless housing and services. Number 3 was improve public facilities and infrastructure. And the goals were improve public facilities and infrastructure. Number 4 was provide public services. The associated goals were provide public services. Number 5 was elimination of slum and blight influences, and the associated goals were code enforcement, demolish dilapidated structures. Number 6 was economic development, and the goals were economic development, revitalize central business district. Number 7 was planning and administration, and the goals were planning and administration. As the mayor mentioned, we did receive our allocation from HUD. Those numbers are actual numbers. The numbers that you see in the packet that you have today for the proposed projects, those projects are proposed activities. So for the funding amounts for fiscal year 2026, our community development block grant, we received $2,909,512. We actually received $134,264 more this year for CDBG. For Home Investment Partnership, we received $797,014.86. We actually received $813, nope, that's wrong. I won't give you that number. We actually received less than what we received last year. Last year, we received $805,148.06. Our ESG calculation for this year is $254,061. Last year, we received $261,142. I am going to go over the projected use of funds for 2026 for our CDBG, ESG, and home.
Deb, before you do that, I just want to editorialize for a second. Deb just read to you all of our funding allocations. These come from the federal government, from HUD. I want to let all of you know that all of those numbers are in jeopardy. Currently, President Trump is discussing cuts, major cuts to these fundings and these programs. We were just saying here that would be detrimental to the city of Erie as we talk today about proposed ways to spend these dollars. If those dollars were cut, this would completely change how we do business in the city of Erie. So I just put that on all of your radar as you think about your own advocacy and your own ability to talk to legislators. This is something we should all be speaking to our federal legislators about. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, I'm going to go over the proposed activities that we have proposed for fiscal year 2026. This information is in the packet that you have. So for the public service activities, we have a total of $760,968. We are only allowed to allocate 20.6% of whatever our base allocation is, or $778,960. And so we are very close to that allocation amount. Our housing programs are $298,228. Public facilities improvements, $1,127,414. Special economic development, $155,000. Our general administration is $581,902. We are allowed to take 20% of whatever our base allocation is. And so the total is $2,914,512. This includes $5,000 of program income. For our home investment partnership program, our proposed activities are, we have proposed $600,000 for rental housing, $117,313.86 for homeowner rehab, and $79,701 for administration. We are required to set aside 15% for total set aside activities, and we are allowed to take 10% for administration. Our proposed allocations for emergency solutions, we have $152,436,000 for operational costs for shelters. Rapid rehousing is $82,571,000. We are required to take 32.5% of what our allocation is, and for the operational costs that I mentioned, we are allowed to take 60%. Administration is $19,054, which is 7.5% of the base allocation. I will now turn it over to Veronica Fields, who will give you information on schedule for preparation, adoption, and submission of the 2026 section annual plan. Veronica.
Thank you, Deborah. Good morning, everyone. I'm on page 5 of your packet. Notice was published in the classified section of the Erie Times on Wednesday, February 18th, 2026, announcing the first public needs and input hearing held on Monday, March 2nd, 2026, at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Notice was published again on March 29th, 2026, announcing the second public hearing, which is being held today, April 13th, 2026, at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Citizens will be provided with an opportunity to present their views on housing and non-housing community development needs, and to comment on the priorities and level of funding assigned by the City of Erie in addressing the needs as contained in the HUD 5-year consolidated plan. As you should know, the plan is currently on display at all community centers, the library, and it is also on the city's website. And that's just the draft display. Critical dates: December 1st, 2025 to January 30th, 2026. Solicitation of proposals, applications were available beginning December 1st, 2025. January 30th, 2026, applications were due. February 2nd through the 5th, 2026, review of applications. February 9th, 10th, and 11th, 2026, presentations for CDBG and home projects. February 18th, 2026, published notice for first public hearing. March the 2nd, 2026, first public hearing, citizens input hearings at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. March 29th, 2026, published notice stating fiscal year 26, second annual draft plan notice will be on display April 3rd through May the 4th, 2026. March 29th, 2026, published notice for second public hearing. April 1st, 2026, presentation at City Council meeting. April the 13th, 2026, second public hearing, citizens input hearings at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. May the 6th, 2026, council authorization to submit second annual plan to HUD. On page 6, May 15th, 2026, second annual plan submitted to HUD for the required 45-day review period ending June 30th, 2026. June 3rd and 17th, 2026, council appropriation and authorization to enter into contract with subrecipients. July 1st, 2026, the program year begins. Back to you, Deborah.
Thank you, Veronica. At this time, we'll have public comments, and these are the ground rules. If anyone would like to come up and give public comments, we ask that you come up to the podium, that you state your name, your agency. If you are not a resident of the city of Erie, just say where you're from. We'll give you 5 minutes to provide public comment. Please note that we won't be making any comments on giving any feedback or make any comments on any of the comments you may make today. So if anyone would like to come now, we ask you to come to the podium.
Elizabeth Stanton, Harbor Creek, and I am from Erie County United.
Ma'am, can you just make sure you speak into the mic? Just, yeah, there you go. Thank you so
Elizabeth
much.
Stanton, Harbor Creek. I'm from Erie County United. I have a question, which I know won't be answered right now. I have a question. In this mechanism that you're working on right now relative to housing, any new housing, rental, I'm specifically interested in rentals. Any new rentals, is there a process where long-term residents of Erie City that are living in substandard housing get first preference? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning,
Morning.
Mayor Devlin, Ms. Smith, Ms. Fields, Chantel Hilliard, representing the Booker T. Washington Center this morning. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to speak here today. We all know you all have difficult decisions to make in regards to the funds that you receive yearly, and so we all appreciate your time and efforts. As you all know, in representing the Booker T. Washington Center, representing families that are low-income families in their strategic plan, which one of my colleagues just mentioned to me and reiterated, Census Tracts 13 and 15 are some of the most depressed neighborhoods in the city, which I represent, meaning Booker T. Washington Center, Census Tract 13, and JFK Census Tract 15, which, excuse me, I'm sorry about that, which represents 40% poverty rate. So as you can entertain that thought, that is very substantial. And so my point to that is, without your support, we cannot combat these specific rates that are out of control. And so I know it's very tough and very difficult, and we have to find ways to combat this. And I know these are limited funds, but I know the mayor, we've talked and had plenty of conversations, we have to find some other revenue streams. And so what I'm proposing here, once again, is some collaboration efforts to find funds to leverage these funds and leverage any funds that we may have with a partnership, because we know these funds can only go so far. So I'm asking within the near future that we can get together, whether it's a committee or whatever, mayor, that you provide as a committee or your staff and resources, to let's start searching for some dollars. Because right now, with the rates that we have in our neighborhoods and the funds that we receive, we can't do this adequately. And so I'm asking with your support that we look at this and we move forward. And I'm not just talking about the Booker T. Washington Center, even though 13 and 15 with JFK are some of the most poverty-stricken neighborhoods. I'm talking about this community in general. And so with your support, I think we can strive to do better for this neighborhood and our youth and our families. So thank you once again for your support. We appreciate the dollars that are proposed here today, but as I mentioned, in moving forward, we have to find ways and collaborate better to make our neighborhood safer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Franklin Beeson. I just came to just look over some things because I was talking to Mr. here yesterday, and I said that we need to get the parents more involved in the activities. And I see here that the JFK Center was not allowed any funds for summer activities. You know, then on the top it says summer recreation, $10,000, but it don't say where that money's going to. Is there any way that funds could be allotted to the JFK Center for some of their summer programs? Because I don't see listed here that they received anything for their summer program. I mean, like Mr. Hughes said, a lot of poverty out there in Buffalo Road. Those children deserve to have some recreation too, don't you think? Some funding. I mean, there will be free lunches. All that there are going to take money to do certain things.
Sir, we're not going to do a back and forth with you, but if you'd like to stay after, I'd be happy to answer your question.
Well, I wasn't mean to be back and forth. I'm just asking the question.
Yes, and I apologize. We just don't answer the questions from here, but if you want to stay after, we can absolutely chat and we can let you know. And I think it's fine to say the $10,000 for summer recreation is for the pool at Roger Young Park. It's not written here, but that's what that $10,000 goes to.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and we can talk about JFK after.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Julio Reyes. The address in it is 1607 State Street, but I am a California resident. I just invest in this town. I had some spare time this morning and I decided to attend this meeting. I don't know even, I think it's, what I'm going to say is very, very related to this issue. So that's what I want to say, I watched on online a recent meeting about the rental programs, and I believe that this is a golden opportunity for not just the city of Erie, but for the whole human capital. And I appreciate the mayor's leadership and then the city council tackling this problem. I think I want to contribute with a couple of ideas that you may consider to incorporate, and hopefully change will change in the next couple of years. I don't think that we are going to solve it overnight, but if we change our methods a little bit, I think it's going to be much, much better for the future. My comments are very simple. Jason, the city solicitor, yesterday in that meeting used the magic word when Horton and everybody else were talking about taxes within the rental. He perfectly qualified, it is not a tax. It is a fee. So as administration, as in the city, with the city council support, they should establish a fee to all those monsters, nonprofit corporations that do not ever pay to the pilot program. If you establish that fee and you tie it to this, I don't think that you will need even federal money. You wouldn't be begging for anything. Now the secret is simple. Everybody should be responsible. The people receiving the funds should run the program properly, should hold people accountable, and look for good performers to really set a good example for the generations to come. If you just come over here and you just beg for money, when they give you the money, they will become your owners. We have the opportunity to demand what is right for the community and the future generations. Any corporation or hotels that pay taxes and the money goes somewhere else to be distributed, or even with the gaming, if you establish a fee and then you have the fee and all of a sudden you have $1, $2, $3 million on the bucket, and like Mayor Darius says, it has to be, I think, revenue neutral. You could use all that money to improve the living conditions of the people around here. Now, everything will be related to how you run the business. I said before, and I said business because I think running government has to be a valid partnership between public service and business enterprise. When you let somebody running away with all the marbles, you are hurting the weakest people in the chain link. So you need to find a way. Now, I heard Jasmine Flores mentioning that they bought about the GIS system about 4 years ago. If you ask me, I've been developing and implementing software for 50 years. I'm 71 years old, and I challenge anybody that is 1/3 of my age to have a technical conversation about what systems supposed to be doing based on data integrity. The GIS system is a geolocation system only. You will have to have a valid ERP application tied to that system. Now, the value of the GIS is precisely, it will give you the geolocations for people homeless, bad landlords, neighborhoods that they are decaying, but you need to know what you are doing. If you don't, you don't. So, my bottom line is this: use the information that you have. Be sure that you look for collaboration with the current administration. And after you look for collaboration with the current administration, rely with a good team of people that want the best for everybody, not the guys that want to run away with murder and money. To make money, you don't need to be intelligent. You just need to be greedy. I had the opportunity to witness Daria's presentation during the holidays, and I was very surprised about the sense of service that she has. I'm not the kind of people that will be kissing butt. I only speak what I believe in, and I believe that today is a golden opportunity to build a better future. The final comment that I have about all the other organizations, that goes directly to you, Daria. You will have the opportunity to appoint people to different authorities, boards, and commissions. One of the requirements that you should do is impose that a human being cannot be serving in 50 public settings because, number one, besides the lack of time, they may have the political will, but they even lack the talent. So I guess that's enough. Thank you for listening to my nonsense, and I hope you the best of luck.
Thank you,
Thank
Julio.
you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mayor Devlin. Veronica, Deborah. I just wanted to explain, under the summer recreation, JFK did not apply for summer rec funds. And the reason is that application in the past has always included staffing. And between GCAC and the Housing Authority, they screen applicants for us and they place qualified young people. So we're good as far as staffing for the summer. And I would like to pick up on Chantel's comment. If maybe we can get together a collaboration for Census Tracts 15 and 13, and JFK and Booker T should certainly be involved because that's our tracks. Thank you.
And thank you for clarifying. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who'd like to provide public comment? Is there anyone else? Going once. Okay, Mayor's going to give closing comments.
I just want to thank everyone for coming today. I want to again thank the staff for their incredible work. I think when you look at that timeline, you see this is prescribed so carefully by the federal government that we have to abide by all these guidelines, and our staff is very cognizant of that and lead this process. I want to thank them. I want to thank all of you who applied for dollars, who came and presented, who spoke today, who have come to our other 2 public hearings. Please know you are heard. I particularly hear you, Mr. Hilliard. You're right. We do need to do more. But all the comments that that we hear today, I've taken notes. We will take those back certainly. And lastly, I do want to thank our members of City Council who have joined us today, Councilwoman Schaaf and Councilman Horton, both for their support of our work, their partnership, and also for showing up and being here to listen as well. So with that, thank you all for coming.